We're recording. Welcome to the Aweman podcast. I am the Tony Davis.
And I'm Wayne, hashtag Aweman After. And
It's actually the show.
going on after the show.
So I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
How do you provide security ongoing in a relationship? How do you start it? How do you keep it going?
You get one of those shirts made that says security on the front. And you wear that to bed whenever you guys go out.
Yeah.
Security.
And then she'll know?
Right. You can start calling yourself Flashlight Cop as a nickname.
How do you recognize it? And how do you know when it's time to move to the next level? To say, I do.
I think...
Or will you be my girlfriend?
Right. The determinant of making something official.
Yeah. How do you know when it's there?
I believe that it's a certain level of... Well, it's a culmination of two things.
Two things!
Two things. Satisfaction and comfortability.
For you or for her?
I would like to say for both. Plane, going on the same direction. Hopefully, we're not on two different planes. But from the satisfaction perspective, you are now proclaiming to yourself and the person that you've been engaging with for however long, you are who I want to do life with. Mm-hmm. Right? You're satisfied with them. You're satisfied with the things you guys do, the experiences that you guys create, and you're satisfied the way that you're growing with each other.
Do you think that as a man, you should get out all of your sexual fantasies out the way, all the women, get all the notches that you want under your belt?
I feel as if you should experience things to the fullest until you can experience things to the fullest with someone else. I know that I don't want to be convoluted in that statement, but it simply means do everything you want to do until you feel like you want to do these things with someone else.
That makes
sense. So if you say, man, I want to have a bunch of orgies and threesomes and I want to fuck a lot of bitches and I want to be out here, I want to have all these sexual experiences, do that. But then once you've done those things, because at some point you're going to be like, okay, I've done all the things that I think that I want to do. You say, I met someone and I kind of like doing these things with that person as well.
Right.
Then that's where the comfortability from the satisfaction comes in.
Okay.
Because now you're not only satisfied, but you have to be comfortable with how you're now maneuvering with another person.
Yeah.
Partnership is just that. You when you're partnering someone, even from the bare minimum, a dance partner, when you're dancing, it's coordinated. Coordination takes a certain level of understanding with your partner. Coordinate. You know? Even in a perspective of we have to coordinate ourselves so that we don't trip over each other, right? Or we want to make the look of the dance look smooth, the transitions look smooth, right?
Not that it's always going to be smooth though.
Right. But at least you know we're working at this so it can be fluid.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't do that if you're not comfortable with you can be satisfied with someone and still not be comfortable with the fact that I still like being in my drawers watching Netflix. Okay. You know what I mean? And I can't be in my, you don't want me to put a shirt on.
So what happens when you get to that point?
Then you have to make a determination.
Cut it off? Eject?
Well, either you eject or you say, is this something that you're not going to be comfortable with going on in the future? And if they respond hesitantly or negatively, then yeah, you may want to, no, not may, you want to consider deviating from that plan.
How fast do you eject?
If Michael Andrew was here, he'd say immediately. I think it really depends on the situation. And I'm saying that to say, you also have to be conscious enough with your own awareness to make those determinations. For instance, you could be seasoned at business relationships, but this could be your first real intimate relationship, right? So you understand the pitfalls of, I don't do business with that person because they did this.
Yeah.
But in a relationship, you're like, this is new to me. So you're learning. So as you're learning, you have to take note of what's good and what's bad for you. Mm-hmm. So that way, going forward, you know, okay, this might not work this person. Selection process. You know, it comes back to that.
But you also have to vet yourself.
Sure.
I think you should look into the situation every day. And one of the things that I've stated is that, you know, men should have enough experiences to know, hey, I like this with this young lady, or I like this at this time when I was 19. I still like it. I need to keep doing this by myself, or find somebody who, you know, it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm of life.
Yes.
You know, find somebody who likes to do these things as I do.
Yes.
Who's going to be willing.
And more than often, because that's an extremely valid point, more than often, we're looking for validation more so than understanding.
Meaning?
We're looking for someone to validate who we are versus really understanding who we are.
What do you think it should be?
You should understand who you are first before you try to build something with anybody else. So this happens all the time. People get in relationships because the last relationship didn't work for whatever reason. You blaming yourself, they blaming you, or vice versa.
Yeah, you
right?
shooting across the bow.
And then you start another relationship with someone else, and you keep running into the same pitfalls, right? Different person.
Yeah.
Right?
So, of course, the natural thing is, what's the common denominator?
What's the common denominator? What's making me feel this way in these moments? Versus saying, what makes me feel like this all the time? And how do I keep this going?
Yeah. So, instead of looking at the negative, look at, hey, I want all the good stuff all the time. A lot of guys go into relationships for effort-free sex. Right?
Sure.
So how do you know that this one that you're gonna want to, you know, sleep with all the time and always, you know, have the same meal over and over and over again? I'm asking a married guy.
It's a mindset. There's been times where I've been attracted to my wife because she got out the shower at a certain time and the water glistening off her body looked great.
Water glistening all over your body.
And then there's been times where she been coming outside from working in the yard because that's what she loves to do. And I'd be like, look at you. Looking all sweaty and worky and shit. You know?
Right.
But it's really a mindset. So because there are times where she might feel sexy and I might feel like, you know?
Right.
In those moments, though, it's really a determinant of what makes you feel your best at those moments. I don't think people understand that. I don't think people understand that intimacy when you're engaging with someone really has nothing to do with the other person as much as you think it does. It's really about your own self-awareness, your own confidence level. Think about times where you may have run into a young lady or a rando and you're attractive, I'm attractive. It just wasn't doing it for you. You just weren't like, it was like,
That's happened a few times.
Right.
Got me in trouble too.
But it wasn't because of that person per se. It was because of your mind state in that moment. Like, I don't really know if, like, what should I do this, or is this okay, or comfortability.
Right.
How comfortable are you with yourself in order to be able to share yourself with somebody else? So even when I'm talking to my wife about listen, like, just because you want me to engage with you in a certain way does not mean I don't think you're attractive, sexy, sensual. It means my mindset is somewhere different.
Would you like that to be respected?
I would hope it is.
I think you can't grow without having a sense of, hey, this isn't the right time for me, without it being offensive.
Right. But some people aren't of that ilk. They don't want to understand that because that's not them. Some people are ready to go whenever, right? Mm-hmm. And that may speak to something else. But then the moment that they aren't, that other person is going to be like, you're out of your routine.
Yeah.
Right? Should I respect that, or did I do something?
Well, I mean, I think that's a good time to ask a question. If you notice something going on differently, I think that every week at least, I think you should walk into a situation. Sorry, we're recording at the 404 Smoke Shop in Camp Creek, Atlanta, Georgia. So if you guys, for the meantime, want to come down and be on the show and engage with us, please do so.
Please.
So if you hear ambient noises, that's why. I think every day you should wake up saying, hey, I am going to be the best for my partner. I know there's a lot of women that I've dated wanted to be the best girl I ever dated.
Right.
And I started thinking about it. No, be the best partner that I've ever,
right.
Not that I've had any other than women, but I'm just saying, don't be the best thing I could ever have. Don't be the best thing that I, from my past.
Right, because being the best, the caveat to that is it's also about synchronizing being the best you and being the best partner.
Yeah.
Because being the best you would inadvertently make you the better partner because you're consistently saying, how can I be better?
And no, it's not you're not going to be perfect. That doesn't mean that just know when not to push for something that you're not good at.
Sure.
Or get better at something that you're not good at.
My wife has been, for a year now, she's been asking me to clean up my office. I finally cleaned up my office.
And?
She was excited. She said, oh my God, it's clean. This is great.
What's it got to do about your office?
The next day, she said something about some dishes. And she was just harping in on dishes and clean. And I'm like,
at least she clean.
She is. And she made me feel like the dirtiest motherfucker in the world, right? But it's an understanding, like give and take. Do I work myself up enough to be like, you ain't never satisfied with shit? Or do I say, listen, babe, like, okay, well, let's work it out. Like, what do you want to see? And this is what I do.
Do you trust in her answer?
90% of the time. That's honest. I mean, sometimes even from a partnership, a marriage, you may question your partner because you're speaking out of sheer emotion right now.
Right.
There's no logic sprinkled in anywhere in this. And
do you need your wife to be logical?
I need her to be reasonably logical.
Or at least follow your direction of logic.
Sure. Because if I have enough respect to do so for her, if I can see her perspective enough to say, that's a valid point. That's my go-to. That's a valid point. Okay, well, let's expound on that. Let's start somewhere positive. Hopefully we'll end somewhere positive.
Right.
Versus if we start somewhere positive and we end up off the road, which has happened before.
How do you fix being off the road?
Revisiting again.
How often do you revisit?
As much as it's necessary.
No, how often would you do you say, I'm gonna come back next week, I'm gonna come back tomorrow? Do we need to separate, go in our separate corners, and then how do you fix something that isn't easily fixable?
That's a good question. That's a case by case basis.
Okay.
It's more commonly than that. I'm gonna say, hey, go to our respective corners. We'll revisit this in a day, maybe 2. Anything outside of a few days is gonna fester to something bigger.
Right.
And that's a snowball effect. And you just don't want those type of problems on the avalanche. It's gonna tip your car over. You're gonna end up like Sonny Bono. If y'all don't know who that is, he fucked up. He fucked up real bad.
Hey man, look like they fucked you up real bad.
Yeah. Him and Christopher Reeves.
Hey man,
not the thing.
Well, Christopher Reeves was a polo accident.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was skis too.
Nah, that was Michael Schumacher. Oh, damn. Michael Schumacher's a ski accident. Sonny Bono's ski accident. One of the Kennedys' ski accident. I just think be knocking cats off on
the slopes. You want to go skiing? I don't know.
Nah.
Do I?
I'm good.
That's worse than Lake Lanier.
You just drown the whole city. Huh?
Right.
If you don't agree with us, your ski's gonna have a malfunction.
What do you think should be? I don't know, the quota as far as how many times to revisit.
Once a week. I think you should check in once a week. I think you should wake up every day, implementing what you got from the last week.
Sure.
It's a job.
It is.
I think
That's
a lot of people,
a great idea.
I think a lot of people come at it you go to your job and you'll put forth types of energy for 30, 40, 50, 60,000. Some people want to hit 100. Oh, I make 100,000 and you bust your ass.
Right.
70, 80 hours. You come home and expect things to be free flowing. People go to the gym 2-3 hours. The bodybuilder 6 hours. That's their job. But then when they get in relationships, they expect it to work seamlessly. How does that happen?
Where they do that?
Right.
Where does that happen?
Where does that happen? So if you go in your relationship saying every day I'm going to put forth. Now, don't get me wrong. You want it to be a little bit more effortless than most other things. So you shouldn't come in here bumping heads. One person a gym rat and the other person like to eat ding dongs all damn day.
Right.
Like that's somebody you probably shouldn't accept. However, if you get a good baseline going, like you said, when you get to the point of I think I want to go to the next level with this person, I think every day you should come into it saying I'm going to be the best thing for you.
What is your determining factor of making that decision?
As far as moving to the next step?
Of leveling up.
Determining factor on?
Well, for me, it was satisfaction and comfort. So for you, what does that look like? Are you saying...
Oh, you mean to taking the next step?
Right.
Oh, I noticed that over time, I do want a comfort, like the monotony, knowing what I'm getting out of this person.
Sure. A routine.
A routine.
Yeah.
But also learning, being able to communicate.
Why is consistency looked at in such a high regard in relationships, but routine is sometimes not?
Right. I think it suggests that things are boring. But if you get someone who is consistently a firecracker, and unpredictable, then that's something different. That means you chose the right person that's going to always keep you going. I know I like that. You know what I mean? Somebody who's spontaneous sexually. Yeah. Hey, who will go my lead? Hey, let's go duck off in the bushes or something like that. You know, that's kind of fun. Yeah. You know, versus, we always have to be in the bedroom. Like, communication is one of them too. Sure. But knowing that's one of the things that I like, but I also have to be attracted to her.
I like it.
Yeah. Those are some things that make me want to, I want to do this all the time.
But I want to do this all the time.
Now I want to pull back from that and kind of lean into the things that I like to have fun. Let the learning process take time.
Sure.
It could take 6 months. It could take a year.
How much time do you think, for a man, when is an appropriate time to be considering making those steps, in your opinion? Because we kind of talked about this on the show. Please go check the latest Aweman podcast show out on all your streaming platforms. Yeah.
And then you will have heard the show, depending on whenever you hear this. So it doesn't matter. You will listen to it. Go listen to all of them. I think I had this statement years ago that once you guys are consistently having sex, because a guy, let's be honest, like we have to get it out of our system. Sure. So it can be like, okay, am I still excited? Because it could be new.
Sure.
So once you guys are having sex for about good 3 months and you still excited, take a 3-day vacation. Wait till like a 3-day holiday come up. Uh-huh. Take those 3 days, go off to the cabins, you know what I'm saying? Go off to some, beach or whatever. And make sure you guys are all into each other. Right. If on the 4th day, after you get back, you go home, she go home. Right. Or you guys go home together if you live together. I don't know. And you still want to kick it with her like that, now you got something serious. Because you've already got everything out of your system. It could be because of the comfort.
Right. I mean, because it's a very good litmus test. Mm-hmm. But it's also, and this is just a little pushback, but it's also questionable because if you never experience an engagement or interaction like that, it may be the possibility that it's something that's new to you and you are embracing it.
Well, now you know what you have to do in another 3 months.
Sure.
That could be a lifestyle for you to keep it going. Yeah. So you're saying, okay, so in 2 years, this is our thing. We'll choose a new place to go. Right. Kick it with each other. Leave your good all over the room or the mountain or wherever it is you are. And we'll mark that off on the calendar. Off on the map. Sure. It can be something fun. That's how you spice it up. That'd be a one
map to love.
Hey man, that's it, man. Try to hit all 50 states. Once you've done that, try to hit all the major cities. Right. Once you've done, if that's what you need to do to spice it up.
I've been to Michigan twice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man.
Right. I see all the lakes.
I see all of them. You know what I mean? It's something like that. Do things that you never thought you want to do. Sure. Like I always want to be like in a lake in a canoe. Yeah. Like ways to spice things up.
You can swim?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because that boat get rocky.
Yeah, but practice your balance. Yeah. Daniel's son. So I'm just saying. So if you're going into a situation, being a man that maybe you got a high sex drive, sure, or it's exciting because she's the hottest thing you've ever been with.
Yeah.
Now once that's all out of your system, or if you calm down with that, now you can really know that, oh, I really like hanging out with her.
Sure.
Do the things that you like to do daily with her.
Right.
Then you'll know, oh, okay, we can keep doing this. If she's not complaining after 7 months, shoot. And if she does, and you guys get over it, now you know you can take that next step.
Because I was gonna say,
I wouldn't say rush it.
It could be the polar opposite too. You could be just obsessed with hanging out.
Yeah.
And that fuel the attraction and intimacy.
That's a good point. But you're hanging out with the same person.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Some people have, and we know people like this, men and women. They have been engaging with men and women in a very sexual manner for so long, it's second nature to them. So they have sex, but they never really get to know or acquaint themselves with the other person's life.
Yeah.
So when they finally get in a relationship, because the sex has been so good or consistent, they're like,
yeah,
I don't really like you like that.
Well,
you eat wait.
Hey man,
you eat McDonald's?
I don't do that.
You like
gotta
chicken
listen.
nuggets?
Incorporate both aspects of what people like to do.
Right.
When you meet, you should already know what that person likes to do.
Sure.
And they should know what you like. You should. That should be part of your job. I need to learn this person.
Right.
What they like, what they don't like, what meshes well with what I like. And then you got to start living life like that. I don't think fancy dinners and all those things, dressing up. Now, if you like to play dress up, then do so. I like throwing a suit. Hey, suit up. Yeah, let's get it.
It's like cosplay or role playing
or whatever you want to get into. Yeah. But those are things that you should be living life with that person as you would want to live your life, as you visualize it.
Lastly, would you say that a man needs to experience himself enough to understand where he needs to start that foundation with someone else?
Definitely. I don't, in your 30s before you start thinking long term. I'm not saying it's impossible. This is from my point of view.
Yeah. I think by late 20s, early 30s, if you have been devoted to self consistently, you should have seen some results that are promising enough where you can say, I'm comfortable with my lifestyle to be able to maintain it with me and someone else.
Definitely got to afford it.
Right. Or and afford does not necessarily mean monetarily. Okay. Even though in that perspective we were speaking about that, but being able to afford certain luxuries mentally is very important too. Being able to stand having an argument or a disagreement with the person that you're quote unquote going to spend the rest of your life with and not feel like it's the end of the world because we're arguing.
Yeah. No. I think your commitment has to be bigger than an argument.
Yeah. But you have to be able to afford those luxuries.
Definitely.
So.
Well, I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
Well, this has been the Aweman Podcast. I am the Tony Davis.
And I'm Wayne. # I need a like.
All right. We'll get one after.
Yeah.
We out.
We out.
Yep.